some time pass. In theory. I don't know how this is going to work. I also don't know if I have any software to edit this still on this computer. What was I using back in the day? Do I have Vegas on this computer? Oh god, I don't know.
You had something.
I know I had something, but I don't remember how to use anything but Vegas anymore. Okay, I think I have Vegas on here because I see a Vegas folder. I just don't see the Vegas shortcut. Let's check the start menu. Oh, there's Vegas. Okay, good. So I can get this. It's really bad. It looks like I'm going to get episode 608 up before I get 607 up. But 607 is currently stranded on the other computer that I can't see. So that's nice. Also, I just realized what I can do to make Brian be quieter. I'm wearing a headset. I could just turn the volume down in the headset.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That was too low. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. We're going to start this final episode of 2020 that feels like a microcosm of 2020 in and of itself. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is, as far as we can tell, the Mana Pool number 607. And I think I just got those numbers wrong, but
I think you're right.
This is 607, and I'm almost certain that you will be hearing this one before you hear 606. So, yay. I'm Chewie, the lead dork, and 2020 has decided to wait until the very end to dogpile me all at once.
Yeah.
So I have these other dorks here, and amazingly enough, you can hear them. So, hi, dorks.
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler tangent master of the group, and everybody has something that makes them feel dumb, and my thing is I hate it when the tire pressure gauge in my car goes off, because I swear every time I go to put more air in it, I can't get the thing connected right, and I start losing air. At one point, one of the tires was down to about 14 instead of the 38 it needs to be. So I called Carrie and I'm almost in tears. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And she's like, none of these Google searches for this brand say what to do. They just assume you're doing it right. So I feel like an idiot when it comes to inflating my tires. What do you guys feel like idiots about? Next guy.
Let's see. I'm Mike. I'm rules guy and game lore guy. And I feel like a complete idiot. Oh gosh, I know there's all kinds of little bitty everyday samples that come up, but gosh, nothing happened today, so I don't have anything fresh in my mind. Ah, geez.
I should have gotten you guys ready for this idea. So
Maybe, yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I wasn't listening to anything any of you have said because I was reading all the chat that I had missed.
That works.
Thanks for all the bits, by the way, everybody. We got a hype train going somehow when I wasn't
Woo-hoo.
looking. Hey, Dirk, don't forget you.
Yeah, I know. So, I feel like an idiot in moments.
Oh, right.
Let's see. I feel like an idiot when it comes to, I guess, trying to make sure that the house isn't falling apart, and trying to make sure that my kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because again, I'm working, and everything, and the kids know, the boys know that they've got schoolwork to be doing and all that, and so I'm getting them doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then I'm telling my daughter, hey, I need you to sit here, do ABC Mouse, do stuff so that you're, you know, doing what you're supposed to be doing. And she proceeds to do it for a while and then find the most inopportune time to do stuff that just infuriates me. And she never does it when I'm not on a Zoom with students. She does it when I am talking to a student and I'm trying to help them or explain something, and then she just comes up and starts like butting in and daddy, 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 daddy to me, or she runs off and it sounds like she's about to instigate the Third World War with the boys. And so it's just I wish there was, I feel dumb when it comes to I guess doing parent management stuff, particularly when you're trying to teach a class.
I like the way Dirk
Gotcha.
took like Brian's quick little intro thing and turned it into that whole thing.
Well, I was trying to make up for Mike, is what I was trying to do.
Fair enough. So, for anyone who doesn't know, since, as far as you know, it's been like a month since an episode was recorded, which is not true. We did one last week on Thursday. Then on Friday, we did the Community Among Us stream. It was awesome. After the stream, I was like, hey, Gothic, you want to play Heroes of the Storm? Gothic said, sure. I booted up Heroes of the Storm. We started a game, and my video card died. Okay, not quite that quickly. It took a little while, but it did die immediately. And because no video card, my motherboard has no onboard graphics, I have no way to access my computer right now because I can't see it. Because the video card is where you plug in your monitor and stuff. And, like, I was like, well, I know. I'll just take the hard drive out that's got all the files on it and plug it into I've got an external USB enclosure thing. I'll put the hard drive in there. Nope, because it's one of the smaller form factor solid state drives. It's my C drive. So I can't. I don't have any way to access what's on that drive. So that sucks. And Steph is sending me a video card. And I sent her a message when I found out that she was going to send it because Cap had sent her a video card, but she ended up not needing it and she just kept it. And Cap had poked her and she's like, I will ship it right away. And I sent her a message. I said, hey, if I give you some extra money, could you like ship it faster? And she went, I already shipped it. And I went, oh no. She said, it should be there on Tuesday. I went, okay. It is now Thursday. The tracking number says, hang on. Let me look. The tracking number says, no, don't load a preview. Load the damn, screw you. It says, in transit. December 16th, that's today. In transit, comma, arriving late. Yeah.
Today's the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, today's the 17th.
Yep.
Then,
I'd say it's definitely arriving late.
Yeah, it is now the 17th at night. And, yeah. This is, This is what I'm dealing with. And it's not just the holidays. It's also the holidays and the aftermath of our wonderful president's boy trying to dismantle the postal service so vote by mail couldn't work. That hasn't caught up yet. So it's not just the holidays, it's the holidays plus it's not even incompetence, it's active malice against the Postal Service.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
yeah. I don't know when I'll
Edit.
get my replacement video card. It's a video card that's weaker than my current one. So if it works with my motherboard at all, which we don't know, that's why Steph didn't end up using it. I'll be able to stream hopefully anything. As it is right now, we're on the well, I'm on my laptop. You remember the laptop from before the Beast that I used to use to record like Hearthstone videos, but I don't think I ever used it to stream. If I did, it was very limited. So
Well, we used
yeah.
the laptop whenever we used to do live when we used to do our play episodes, like when we would actually be playing Magic and recording it.
Yeah, that's the only thing this thing has been used for in like 2 years is I would cart it to Brian's house and get it all set up with a microphone plugged in, and it would be the thing that would record the live shows. And that was it for like 2 years. So yeah, that's why, for those of you that weren't here at the beginning, that's why the screen you're looking at is quick and dirty, and the Streamlabs alerts aren't on because, one, I couldn't remember quickly how to get the Streamlabs alerts on, and two, I was afraid that I would break something because I don't know if there's going to be any pre-show odds and ends for this, because it's just a bunch of me trying to make it work and setting up a scene. We didn't talk about anything. It was just, why can't you hear me? Son of a bitch, why can't you hear me? Oh, you can hear me? Oh. Awesome. No, you can't hear me now. Great. Like So yeah.
Yeah, that's more or less what this has been. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm on a forced vacation. I've got like so many videos I could be working on. I had just downloaded 2 of my previous Hades streams because there was one run on each of them I wanted to try to turn into a YouTube video. I've got a Hand of Fate stream that's 1, maybe 2 YouTube videos. I've got the podcast. I was gonna do that on Saturday, but Friday night my card died, so yeah, that's why there's been no anything from me content wise since I think Sunday was when the last YouTube video went up, maybe Monday, because I ran out and I can't get to them and everything sucks all the time. So what a perfect time. With this, the last Manipool episode of 2020, to look back at the hell year that has been 2020. Like, other than not having any, physical contact with people and having to deal with constant existential dread about the future of our country, for those of us that live in the U.S., and, watching thousands of people die every single day, like, other than the big picture stuff, me personally, this has been a not bad year. Like, this is the first year. I'm just gonna kick us off, by the way, because I gotta get this off my chest.
Go right ahead.
So
Let loose.
For those of you who've been with us a while, you might know I've been broke for years. I mean, like, broke, because I was trying to do the like content creation full-time thing, which people are like, just quit your job and do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. For God's sake. It's a bad idea. Up until the beginning of this year, I was doing the car dealership thing where I would drive for a local car dealership. And when that was feast or famine. There were either more drives than I could do, or there was nothing. So the paycheck was very up and down. And especially towards the end, you might remember, I started having payroll issues where sometimes they just wouldn't pay me. And at the beginning of the year, in January, my friend Amanda was like, you should really try DoorDash. And I went, okay, fine. And, oh my God. it's been amazing. Even before, the world ended and DoorDashing shot up in popularity, like in the first 2 months of the year, I was making way more than I did with the car dealership thing, because people always need food. The dealership doesn't always need cars driven somewhere. and it's been wonderful. And I'm now, amazingly enough, able to like pay the rent and the bills every month without freaking out. I can go to the grocery store without pulling up my bank account amount in the parking lot and doing math as I shop, which was just the worst. I was like, all right, do I get... Wait, no, I can't afford that. It was awful. And I did that for a long time. Way longer than I should have, because I'm stubborn and stupid. And then, like I said, I started DoorDashing. And now I just go to the grocery store and I just buy stuff that I need. And sometimes things that I want. And I don't have to, like, check the bank account before or after. It's awesome. No, I still can't afford meat, but I don't actually buy meat, so that's fine. But and of course, as soon as I'm able to start paying bills and make ends meet without freaking out, the world starts to end. I was making plans to like go visit Megan and Casey up in New York, to try to get away for a while and like relax a bit. And then boom, COVID hit, everything got locked down. And now I can't go. Now that I can afford to go, I can't go. and that's how it's been ever since. As you all know, if here in the US anyway, if you're doing things properly, you can't go anywhere, or you shouldn't go anywhere. You can, but you're an asshole. And yeah, I said it, and I meant it. I see on Facebook, one of my exes, actually, from before you guys, was like, oh my God, I'm on a plane, we're going to such and such. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope your plane crashes, bitch. Like, what the hell? Like, there's a picture of her on the plane with her little mask on, and I'm like, yeah, okay, good job, stupid. But anyway, I checked, it was a pleasure trip. This was not a necessary thing. She and her husband were going to such and such to go hang out. And I'm like, you're what's wrong with this country. But she's always been part of what's wrong with this country. Anyway.
Side tangent.
Yeah. And other than, like I said, dealing with all of the bigger picture existential problems for me personally, other than, I have hugged each of my parents once since like mid-March. And that's because I just couldn't take it anymore. Like right before mom, just a couple months ago, right before mom went to, or last month? I don't remember now. But right before mom went back to Nana's house, which I begged her not to go do because things are worse now than they ever were before when you were going to go originally. She's like, well, it's got to get done. I gave her a hug just in case she caught the Rona and they wouldn't let me in to see her. Yeah. And, the one time I went to see the old man while mom was gone, I hugged him there too. That's once each. I'm a very huggy person. All the dorks will tell you.
Yes.
I hug. Like if I see you, you're getting a hug, and then before I leave, you're getting a hug. Like that's just how it. Unless you tell me don't touch me, in which case, then I don't hug you. But unless you're Mike, in which case I hug you harder. But other than the dealing with the like mental repercussions of being a huggy person who can't hug people, like for me personally, it's been fine. And then in November, I found out, which I think I mentioned this on the show, or it might have just been in the odds and ends, which might never get posted now because they're trapped on a hard drive. I can get to that hard drive. Oh. Maybe I can get caught up on some odds and ends.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah, I found out that there's a problem with my car. That, like, the car is still drivable, I just don't have an airbag! And so that's going to cost $1,000 to fix. That's nice. It might not. We're looking at ways so it won't. But as far as I know, it's going to cost me $1,000. And then my video card died. And I was like, that's fine. I'll just upgrade the computer. Like, I've been trying to think about planning to upgrade the computer, like, since, I don't know, May, maybe? June? So I made a channel in the Discord server for it and everything. Like, and I figured out several parts that I wanted, and I went, and I just sort of let it go because I was like, this is really more expensive than I should spend at once. You know, unless we get more stimulus money. And
yeah.
Nothing is. I mean, I was about to say nothing is more than some. No, that's not true. Actually,
Something is more than nothing.
yes.
Yeah. The laugh was that we might ever get more. That's not it. But I was like, okay, I'll just go ahead and get the motherboard because, of course, the video card I decided on doesn't work with this old ass motherboard naturally. So I'll just get the motherboard and the the motherboard and the video card, and the rest can be updated later. But wait, no, I can't. One, because I have that $1,000 repair on the car hanging over my head. And also, it just so happens that right now, video cards are just nowhere. They're just gone. Hey, you want a video card? Screw you. And it's because apparently the supply is up, but the supply is down, presumably due to COVID. And so as soon as new cards pop out, scalpers buy them all and drive the price up. From what I've been told by several people.
Mm-hmm.
That unfortunately doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. So I was told wait until like November when the 3000 series cards comes out, that 2070 Super that you want will drop in price. And I said, awesome. And then the video card died, and I said, well, I guess I should look into that. They're like $700. And I went, I think that's more expensive than they were. People were like, yeah, it is. I said, well, I thought the new cards were supposed to come out and these would be cheaper. Like, yeah, the new cards came out and they only made like 7 of them. So they made nowhere near enough to meet the demand. It's like a new console launch, for God's sake. Like, they made 0 cards to meet the demand. So the demand for the card you want shot through the roof.
Oh.
And I went, oh, that's nice. So I'm sort of screwed on that front. So, and because USPS sucks at the moment, I don't have the card that Steph sent me to even find out if it works. So I'm just sort of screwed, where I can maybe afford either to get my car fixed or to upgrade the computer. Maybe. That's maybe one of those two things. One of which I use to make, these days, the bulk of my money is the driving and the door dashing, but it still works. It's just fine. But the other I use to do my real job, which is the content creation and the streaming and the entertaining people, which I literally can't do. And that is definitely tax deductible. Whereas the repair on the car might not be. I have to talk to my accountant. Mm-hmm. She told me back when I started this that mileage is usually better for tax purposes than repairs and maintenance and whatnot. And she said, unless something drastic happens, like your transmission falls out. And $1,000 repair seems kind of drastic to me. I'm just saying. So, yeah. And then, on top of everything else, 2 nights ago, I dropped off an order to a customer, and I was backing out of their driveway, and I was too close. I don't know what these things are called, but they had this long, like, wooden... It's like a curb, but it's long and made of wood along one side of the driveway where the tree was. It was like a fir tree. And I heard it rub against my mirror. And I went, oh, I'm too close. So I was like focused on my side mirror and making sure that I wasn't, about to rub their divider thing. I don't know what the hell those things are called or anything. And I heard a clunk, and I went, what the hell did I hit? I look in my rearview mirror, and there's nothing there. And I look in my backup camera, and there's nothing there. And I put it in park and get out, and I ran over their mailbox.
Oh, jeez.
And I went, how in the hell did that happen? And then I realized I had to use the light on my phone. I realized it is pitch ass black outside. And I look up, and there's a street light literally at the end of their driveway, and it is out. And I went, and I get up closer to the mailbox, and it's on the ground. The post was like dry, was like rotten. Because it just broke clean. I think a stiff wind would have blown it over. But no, it wasn't a stiff wind. It was my freaking Camry. So I go, oh my God. And I get back in the car and pull back up to the house. And eventually I find out the DoorDash Dasher app is a large pile of balls. But eventually I find out that there's like insurance purposes for just this sort of thing. For like third-party damages and whatnot. So I fill out the form. And I hit go, or I hit, I get all of her information and all of my information, and I fill out the claim form, and I hit submit, and it says, all right, thanks, and kicks me back to the homepage. It didn't give me any information. No claim number, no nothing. And I went, what? So I was like, maybe they emailed it to me. Check my email. Nope. Maybe it went to spam. Check my spam. Nope. What? So now I'm trying to find the number in my Dasher app to call DoorDash support and be like, yo, what else do I do? And I can't find it anywhere in the app. I can't even start a chat with a support person. I don't know where that went. I've done it before, but I couldn't find it anywhere inside the app. And I went, so I just Googled it and get the number. And I'm like, how come? So I get the number and push the right thing a couple times and get put on hold, and eventually someone answers. And next thing you know, I think I'm on hold again. Because she never said, let me put you on hold, but our connection was bad. So I think she said it, but I didn't hear her. But there wasn't like music or anything playing. It was just silent. So I'm just standing here holding the phone, making small talk with this poor woman whose mailbox I knocked the hell over. And it told me at the beginning, you'll get a post called survey. And all of a sudden, it goes from nothing to, here's your post call survey. And I went, what? So I gave it a terrible rating on the 2 questions it asked me. And I tried calling back. While I was trying to call back, that number called me back. And I said, hello? And it's like, this call may be recorded. And I said, okay. And it put me on hold again. And I'm like, what in the blue hell is going on? And then it hung up again after several more minutes. And I finally figure out how to get into a support chat with a person about the time that this nice lady's husband gets home.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, are you okay? And I went, yeah. It's like, you're not hurt? I'm like, I was backing out of your driveway. Like, how fast do you go out of your driveway? I didn't say that, but I was like, what? No, I'm fine. He's like, is your car okay? I went, yeah. Because I didn't even think to look until she was like, how's your car? I went, I don't know. And so I went back down to the bumper with my phone flashlight, and I'm like, yeah, you see this tiny little scratch right here? I think that's where I hit it. And he goes, what about this? And he points at this big mark on the top of my trunk. And I went, oh, that must be where the bottom of the mailbox like rubbed when I hit it. And he goes, oh, there's a little dent there too. And I went, it'll buff out. I don't even care. Because DoorDash doesn't cover that sort of thing. That's what my car insurance is for. DoorDash only covers his stuff. And on like looking back, what I should have done was offer to just buy them a new post and a new mailbox, because those aren't expensive.
Yeah.
I was like, I should have said, here's my name and phone number. You tell me how much it costs within reason, and I will pay you. But instead, I filled out the form, and now who knows what's going to happen? Because, like I said, And I was trying to figure out how I didn't see this mailbox. And it's because the streetlight was out. It was pitch ass black at the end of their driveway. And I was trying not to, like, rub up against their... What are those things called? The long wooden thing. It was on the side of the driveway.
It's like, I know you know what a fence is, so that's obviously
No,
not what
they're
it
like
is.
long wooden... It's like a curb, but made of wood.
Mhm.
And it's decorative. I don't know what the hell that's called.
Chifuji is
This thing-
suggesting berm.
Berm? Is that it? I don't know. I don't even know what that means. So, sure, whatever. I didn't want to rub up against their berm. I'll just assume that's right. But I didn't see it in my backup camera because it was pitch ass black. And I thought I was turning into the road. And I wasn't. So yay. I was having a really good night too. Like because it was right before it was supposed to snow or ice or whatever.
Mhm.
So people were like, screw it, we'll save the cooking for once we're snowed in or iced in, which we weren't gonna be, but people around here. I live in the South, so people are stupid. In every conceivable way. They're that stupid. It was Chick-fil-A is what they ordered. And I apologized, like, I'm so sorry to pull you away from your food. She's like, I'm not gonna eat till my husband gets home anyway. Oh. Cool. So yeah, it was embarrassing and easily avoided, but I just didn't see it. Like I said, looking in the side mirror, I thought I was turning my car to, be in the road and then I could go on. But nope, that wasn't the road yet. It was just awful. So yeah, I came home I was done after that. I said, "Nope, I'm afraid to drive anymore. Screw it, I'm going home." And I sat down on the couch and I put my hands, if I had a camera, I would do this, and I went and then I started crying because with the car and the computer and everything sucks and I can't do anything, and then this little, how you have all of the problems and then like you stub your toe and that's so much that you go out and murder 8 people.
Yeah.
It
the
was
one
that
more thing.
except without the murder. It was like the straw that broke my back. I just couldn't anymore. It was not. And because I can't work, I just sit out on the couch and I have like YouTube or Netflix or Hulu or something. I've got stuff playing and I may or may not be watching. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone. And then I go DoorDash and then I come back and I sit back on the couch because I can't do anything. And like taking a vacation willingly is one thing, but being forced to sucks. So I didn't mean to monopolize the episode. This is just what's going on with me the last not even a week. Yay. So yeah. So 2020 waited until the very end to kick me in the balls, is what I'm saying. I should have known it was coming. I was like, you know what? I've dealt with a lot of crap this year. I think this is probably going to be it. Nope. 2020 heard me think that and was like, yo, hold my beer. I got to show this little twerp what's what. And then I got shown. Chewie and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week, right? So anyway, how about you guys? Did Brian come back yet? Nope, he did not. Okay. So how about you guys? What's
go, Mike?
2020 been?
Oh, I guess I got picked. The beginning of 2020 didn't feel all like we were hearing that stuff was that there was stuff going on in China, but it's like, okay, I'm hoping for the best and everything, but then as things began to escalate and everything, I'm just going, oh my gosh, this is not looking good. And then whenever in March, when they said, you know, we're doing distance learning and everything of that sort, um, we had been preparing for it, and thankfully the preparations that had been done for distance learning were well, um, were very good investments that we made. So that way, when this all went down, um, we had a plan in action. We were able to make things work. I don't. There was a great deal of frustration in. Okay, yes, that this has happened, and because of that, we're going to let people have a free pass. Which, I mean, I understand that we were going to be adjusting. I didn't realize we were going to be adjusting that much, and that that did not that just kind of left me in a not so great mood at the beginning of the summer. During the summer, I mean, we had been doing everything we were supposed to be doing. I felt like everything had been done. We were doing everything, you know, going into the fall. We had done everything we were supposed to do, and for us having to quarantine at this point had to deal with people being there being a large number of dumb people where out in our area, and then people who, because things were not great at their work, decided to try and stick it out and do and not let other people suffer because of other people's stupidity, and ended up spreading this. Um, it very much reminds me of World of Warcraft when the blood plague went through, and epidemiologists looked at it and was like, this was a really great study. Seeing this thing go through and watching there be people who are trying to help other people, like our frontline workers, frontline healthcare workers, and then there are people who just don't care and are just like, oh, there's people over there, let me go hang out with them and spread this, which feels like our people who don't want to do anything to help people, and are are thumping their chest as, you know, don't tread on my freedom and everything of that sort. But what irks me the most with that, and what I've seen this year, is, okay, so wearing a mask is tramping on your freedom, but wearing a seatbelt doesn't. Being told by a store you can't come in if you don't have a shirt or shoes isn't. And that, I think, that has irked me the most, that there are people who don't want to do the good decent thing to help people, because they go out of their way to just be dicks about it. I think that's the real big thing I'm trying to work my way towards,
And that
is
is
that they're just
breaking
way
rule
too
2.
yeah. Too bad they aren't uh, our listeners here on the podcast, or and everything, that they just, yeah, they just really are just so many people out there who they just don't care, and unfortunately it has caused a major shift in the way we interact with each other, and it has resulted in a large number of people who are no longer with us. I feel blessed that we that my family is not in a worse situation, that we're making it through it. But at the same time, I feel like that there was a lot more that could have been done, so that there wouldn't be people suffering from this. And it has really just put me off this year. Um,
Yeah.
in terms of just family and everything. I've I'm like Chewie. I'm a hugger. I like to hug people. I like to talk to my folks and the guys and everything. And not getting the chance to hang out with the dorks has sucked. I we when we were originally going to get together and play cards when the lockdown came down. Like we were going to play either that
Yeah.
weekend or the following weekend when the lockdown stuff came
Yeah,
to the
it was
country.
just 1 or 2 weeks away.
And that I was so, I mean, we hadn't seen each other, played cards, done anything in so long that, I mean, I was beside myself with excitement. And then that happened. And that just like it just felt like somebody had pissed in my drink. That's really what it felt like.
Sorry about that, by the way.
And
There was a kid in the bathroom.
and the soda machine was right beside the toilet, right?
Exactly.
And like with Chewie saying that hasn't had a chance to really hug and do anything with his folks, and I've seen my folks. We've done the social distancing. If I don't hug them, that kills me.
Yep.
And then whenever Chelsea wasn't feeling good, there were times whenever I'm just thinking to myself, "Holy crap! Have I exposed my family? Have I exposed others? Am I gonna be the one who is well, it's one of those things where when you have been one of those people who've been infected, oh, where you just had your moment where you've been infected, you're just going, holy crap, did I walk around with a grenade strapped to me and potentially hurt somebody? And that's sort of what it feels like to me. That it's been emotional, and it's been one of those things where it feels like this year has sort of been a giant suck fest. I know there was a better description we said at one point, but that's just sort of what this year has felt like. It's just felt like, holy crap, how can it get worse? Holy crap, I shouldn't have said that. Because like you said, 2020 said, "Oh, really? Hold my beer. Let's see what else." You know, we've had we have a record number of hurricanes. We had more hurricanes than any other year on record as far as I know. You know, poor New Orleans and Alabama, that area, they got hit by, what was it, two or three of them in a row?
Yeah.
Just this year, just I think John Oliver blew up 2020. Like he did a big thing where he blew it up, and I'm just going, yeah. 2020 needs to be put into a room. The door needs to be uh, locked up and chained up and just forgotten. Like this year has just been just terrible, at least from my standpoint,
Yeah.
because it just feels like I haven't been able to be with family and friends, and that's hard for me.
Oh, and Kovo in the chat just said one of his friend groups has been seeing each other for game night, and they had a spreading event. Yeah. That's why I don't see. I have had, like, unmasked contact with one person this entire time, and it's just cute neighbor chick. Just because she's right there, and she has some flavor of immunocompromised thing going on. So I know she's being careful, and I haven't seen anybody, and so that's it. We hang out and watch movies occasionally. I'm like, that's it. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I've been inside Amanda's apartment twice, 3 times. All of them were quick. All of them I had on a mask. Once was to return her clippers. Once was to get her clippers. Hone wants us to take some food over. That sounds about right. But yeah, that's why I haven't seen anybody. Like, hey, Mike, you want to get something to eat? No, you don't. Because I'm not coming to see you, Mike, because I love you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have a friend group that's dumb. I have several. Luckily, none of these guys. But like I like I said, I see occasionally people on Facebook out doing stupid things, and I'm like, what? And even some of the more intelligent ones talk about going out to eat all the time, and I'm like, get it to go. Go home. Eat. Don't eat that. Can I say that again? So how about you, Mike?
He's grabbing the phone.
Oh, so it's just you and me, Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
What type of graphics card interface is on my PC? On this one, I'm pretty sure it's a PCI Express.
Okay. Because that's the same type that I have. And when I was looking at some, I'm like, well, there's a couple of them that are like $60.
Wow, I bet those are nowhere near what I've got.
Yeah, they're just like you're just needing an interface. Mine, they don't sell mine anymore.
Ouch.
Mine's a GeForce GTX 950.
Oh. Mine's an R7 370. And apparently if I want a new one of those, it's like $300. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to spend $300 to not upgrade. I just hope that, one, the card from Steph gets here, and two, that it, functions. Because if it doesn't, I might put my head through my desk. And it's made of glass. So let's hope I don't do that.
But yeah, I think just all in all, this year there have been good things that have happened this year. But I personally think that the bad has definitely outweighed the good.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking forward to the Olympics this summer. Didn't happen.
Yeah, no. No,
And that also kind of peed me off as well, because I don't sit and watch the Olympics like back to back to back, but I do enjoy watching some of the events, and rooting for Team USA and seeing just how everybody's doing and everything, and just never got that this year. So it's like I said, it's just sort of felt like if you're one of the people who's doing the right thing, it really has felt that other people have just. I'm trying to think of like an analogy of sort of what has sort of gone on with it, but I guess sort of like you're the kid who's making the sandcastle on the beach, and then the people who don't do what they're supposed to be doing are the people who are coming and kicking your sandcastle down. And so you're just looking going, WTF, what was that all about? Why are you being a dick? And so, sorry. I got yelled at. But that's sort of what it's...
Are you
what
being
it's
too
felt
loud,
like.
Dirk?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And now I'm alone.
No, I'm here.
Hey, Brian's back. Everything okay? You disappeared for like half an hour.
I'll
I
be back.
did, and I
20 minutes.
apologize. Well, it was a good start to time. I apologize. It was time to take care of dogs, and then Carrie needed to talk. Nothing super serious, but we had not had a chance literally earlier today to discuss one or two things, and she apologized more than once about keeping me. I'm like, I get it, but
Sorry.
So sorry about that. So
how
last
was
episode of
your
the year.
how was your 2020 been, Brian?
So I've given this some thought because Complicated. I've had very complicated feelings about this year because, on the one hand, the world in general, U.S., every country has struggled. People are missing work, lost jobs, struggling to make ends meet. So it feels very weird. It feels almost like gloating. I don't ever want to gloat, especially when people are not doing well. But I am in a position where I was still financially solid. I was still able to focus on what I needed to do for my job and to do what I needed to do to keep us financially solvent. Plus, Carrie's the true financial bedrock of this family, and she's been working. Her bosses allowed them to work from home. He's been great. The CEO of her company has always been incredibly focused on employee wellness. Like he's a very smart businessman. He's worth quite a bit, and I think it's because he treats people well, and he's a good businessman on top of it. So I it I don't want to say it's been a good year, but starting in March, and up until court resumed in July and really in August, I spent more time with my wife and daughter uninterrupted at each day than I had ever, like at least since I was on paternity leave when Sam was a newborn. And so we
Babby?
spent and so we spent the summer like Sam watched the Marvel movies, and we played all sorts of board games. That we would get board games for Christmas and try them once and be like, yeah, and then put them away because we get used to watching TV or playing video games after dinner. Um, and we got back into doing that sort of stuff like on a regular basis. So I don't think I would ever call 2020 a good year, but we have been able to make the most of it. Uh, Someone in the chat, Magnor, asked about the puppy. So we got Apollo in February, like, and we're like, yeah. And we started, and he was already pretty active.
Wow, I
And
still haven't met your dog.
you haven't. And
Jesus.
he, um, he's nippy and bitey. And so, and we could tell he's going to be more of a handful. We hadn't had a puppy in a while. JJ we got when she was 3. So, and she was always extremely well behaved, and Apollo wasn't. So we enrolled him in a class, obedience class. We went to one session,
Take your ass to school.
and then we had to pull him out because we discovered he needed surgery, and he was not going to be able to attend. And he had the surgery in mid to late February. Like we got on it pretty quickly, maybe beginning of March. And just as he was recovering, everything shuts down. So a while ago, we actually paid one of the people that runs the program to come and do a session with us in our house, and it was productive, but he's still got a ways to go. And like I think, okay, I hate to speculate, but we did get him from a rescue. There's a strong case to be made that he was mistreated when he was a puppy, because like he still gets borderline violent. I have not been able to trim his nails, and I took him to PetSmart to have them trim his nails, and he bit them, and they're like, okay, we cannot continue. You have to take him back, and so his nails are getting long. And we were just discussing, should we take him to the vet? What are we going to do? Because we've been working on Shake with him, and but he doesn't like people touching his feet, especially his back ones, which the rear passenger side one is where it was the hip surgery that we had, where he had some sort of injury there, whether it was natural or not natural. So I think there's a decent chance that he was mistreated. So he getting him right before everything shut down, not being able to continue with obedience classes, and him having some history. He's very sweet with us. He's extremely protective. It took him a long time to warm up to mom and dad. And now he goes over to their house now that they've moved down here, and he's fine with them. But it, so when Chewie comes, when the guys come over, might need to dress him in those umpire outfits with all the padding, just to make sure that he can't get at them. Um,
Not making a case for me to come visit there, Brian.
I'm well. You weren't going. You of all the people I've known have taken this the most seriously, so I know you won't come until you feel it's absolutely safe, which I appreciate. Um, so new dog, which is both a blessing and yet still a lot of work. Job continuing to evolve. I started taking on harder cases. Well, I've always had hard cases, and even someone with a lower level case, I always try to treat seriously, because even if I have literally 60 other clients, for them that is their case, that is their life, and especially for um, criminal cases, it's pretty important. Something wrong?
Hiccups.
Okay. Um, so I don't want to say, more important cases or anything like that, but I did start doing court appointed cases for higher level felonies. And I literally got onto that list in February. So, start getting appointed to some of these cases, and everything shuts down, and I'm trying to see them while they're, in jail, and, courts for the most part aren't running, except for some, because there's exceptions to everything, and no one knows exactly what we can or can't do. And so a whole lot, jobs changing, and I'm also, a lot of what are we doing, what are we not, was up in the air. As I was telling these guys before the show started, the Chief Justice of North Carolina has entered another 30 days where most cases are to be automatically continued. Think about it. Nothing, no disrespect to people that come to court, but what is a place that dozens, hundreds of people come to every day? And in fact, we encourage them to come. And in fact, if they don't come, they can get in trouble, you know. And again, nothing again. I'm not trying to make any judgments, but having done criminal law for over 10 years now, past 10 years, what segment of the population is perhaps more likely to have less access to decent uh, health maintenance? What segment of the population is more likely to be homeless, or not be able to wash or stuff like that? Um, and this, honestly, when I ask this question, there's probably a couple things this applies to, but of course, I'm referring to courthouses. You have to come to court. We really want you to come to court. And there are other courts than criminal that go on. I know that very well, but still, where you have the criminal cases, you also have, by and large, a lot of lower income people. So yeah, let's put all them together. So really, we closed mid March. It was going to be through April, and then it got extended May, June, started opening up again. Uh, in July, a little more in August. We were not going to start jury trials until August, and it got pushed back to October. And then we actually had one or two in November, at least locally. I didn't have any, so I'm not sure logistically how that worked out. And now they have closed down fully, or as full as you can get. People still have constitutional rights. We need to have certain hearings for the next 30 days. So, question mark as far as what's going to be the next step. Don't know, but I do appreciate that I live in a state where the Chief Justice is trying to take health into consideration, instead of just no, we got stuff to do, so we got to open up. It is problematic. I had a client over the summer who told me, well, I shouldn't really say. Let's put it this way: they didn't feel that their case should keep getting put off just due to COVID. They still felt like they wanted to get their case over with, and in fact, we did reach a favorable outcome in their case. Um, but if his case had been put off like one more month, I don't know what he would have done. Like, hopefully nothing stupid, but um, so it's a complicated year. I can't say that I have been hurt nearly as much as some people, but would I ever do this year again? Again, there were positive aspects. I love spending more time with my family, but so much of 2020 felt like us fumbling around in the dark. A non-zero factor in that was lack of centralized leadership taking responsibility for any and all health crises and forging a path forward. But that is certainly not the only factor.
Yeah. Well, I guess we won't ask Mike how. Mike had warned us at the beginning. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to dip out for a while when my brother calls," and then he said, "For good stuff." I went, "If it's good stuff, why can't it wait?" But whatever.
He told us ahead of time. So,
how about magic? This is a magic podcast. Screw what happened to Mike this year. Mike got married. Nothing else matters.
So magic this year. So conspiracy theorists, no, not those ones. The other ones have been saying for years that Wizards was trying to kill paper magic. And I never
Oh my God,
it.
COVID was created by Wizards of the Coast.
Hashtag W Anon.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what you were going for. Got it.
Yeah. But I never believed it because so much of this, there's still some. First of all, from a purely business standpoint, there's still so much money to be made there, just straight up. And some people, yes, Hearthstone, other digital platforms are profitable and popular, but this is the bedrock, and they haven't given up on paper, but they kind of had to to a certain extent because, hey, this is a game that you like. How do you run a pre-release while social distancing? Like, seriously, like how does that work? Think about your local store in the far back times of January or February. What set came out in January?
So this is the thing that I said to the dorks before we started the stream. Is it bad that I have no idea what Magic sets came out this year?
I mean, so the one that came out in April was the monster one. Ixodor? No. Ixalan? Was that the name?
No, Ixalan was pirates and whatnot.
Oh, it also starts with an I. The Godzilla set.
Yeah.
Came out in April because it was the first. They pushed the pre-release back, and then when obviously things weren't getting better, they said, "Hey, pick up pre-order the cards, pick them up at your local store, play them at home," and that is what Sam and I did, and that was the first time we did it this year, so it stands out to me. I was like, "Oh, okay." So that was the first one, but there was a regular set that came out in January. Theros Undead. Theros Rises.
Ikoria was the monster one.
Yeah. Ikoria.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. No, but Theros 2, Return of Theros, was in January. And so did that pre-release with Sam, had a good time. Um, that's kind of where the Magic year started. And everything was normal-ish there, at least in the United States. Uh, Ikoria is set to come out in March, or the pre-release was going to be in March. They had to push it off to April. It was funny because we opened our packs and Sam said, "Why does this have a different date on it? The pre-release card." And I said, "Because that's when they were going to have it, because they didn't have time to go back and change the foil stamp date thing." Um, so that was for Ikoria, and then Core 2021 came out over the summer, still kind of the same thing. And that was one where I remember we did the previews, and then like the pre-release came out was like immediate, because we did the previews and then I waited a week, and then I called the store and I'm like, "Hey, can I get a pre-release pack?" And they're like, "Oh, that was last weekend." So the preview session for that set felt weird, because they like literally read right. You know how usually you have like that week off there? They didn't do that.
Yeah.
So kind of missed that. And then um finally we have Zendikar Rising from uh end of third, beginning of fourth quarter. Once again did another pre-release at home, and then Commander Legends, which I bought a couple packs for, and Sam and I opened them up and talked about building a set or building a deck from them. And she and I, aside from the pre-release stuff, haven't done a whole lot of Magic. We've done other board game stuff like that. I have, in phases this year, personally gotten more into Arena, but my setup at home, it's on the upstairs computer. It's literally away from everyone else. So I have not touched it in a while. In the On the preview day for Zendikar Rising, they announced that they were moving it to mobile, and I'm like, well, I guess that will be where I spend my time forever now. Goodbye. Because at the end of the day, I still love Magic. I still love the card game. And I thought if they put on Arena on my phone, that's going to be it. They have not done that, which they never said then. It's done. They said it's in development. I wonder if now that we're coming up on. Okay, do you pronounce it Kaldheim? Kaldheim?
I think it's Kaldheim.
Kaldheim?
Or
Okay.
Kaldheim or something like that.
Kaldheim.
But
this is based
that's
on,
just me looking at the title and sounding it out in my head. I haven't actually watched the trailer for them to hear anyone say it.
Have
They
they
didn't say
released
it.
the trailer?
Yeah, it came out today or yesterday or something.
Okay. I know that on, I think, January 7th, 6th or 7th, they're going to do the beginning
The stream, yeah.
pre-release season proper, where they have the stream and all that stuff, which I usually look forward to. That's either on a Wednesday or Thursday, so that'll work out with our schedule. But I didn't know that the trailer was up yet. But I know it's based on, Norse mythology and those sorts of influences. And as a fan of that, I won't claim to be. I knew as a kid, I knew a heck of a lot more about Greek mythology, Roman mythology than Norse. I kind of came to Norse later in life, but I still appreciate it. Not to mention, as has been pointed out by careful observers, uh, the setting for the MTG RPG that we run here on the show that I created, the world of Trevester, is not wholly taken from Norse mythology, not at all, but it has some roots there. So I'm curious to see how this take on it will work.
Other than the big ass tree, I've picked up on none of that.
there's a couple other things, but I don't want to be all like, well, if you didn't see it, well, here's a list of da 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 da, because I just want it to be there, and if you pick up on it, great, and if you don't, then as long as you're enjoying yourself, that's fine. So I don't want it to turn into be like a, well, look at how smart I am, and look at these references I put in, because that doesn't serve anybody but myself. So, uh, so yeah. So it's magic plus, let's face it, there are times where I feel like I could be labeled as a corporate man, because whenever they say Wizards is doing this or Magic is ending or whatever, I'm usually the person that goes, no, they've been doing this for 25 odd years. Trust the system. And I do think they do get a lot of things right, especially when it comes to play design. Where they do not always get it right is distribution, is marketing. I applaud them for trying to be inclusive in their depiction of people, whether it be people of ethnicities, or people of different cultures, or people of different um, genders. I'm going to say the wrong word. I
Just
really don't
stop
want to offend
talking,
anybody.
Brian. Just keep going. Before you say something that's going to make me edit, for Christ's sake, just shut up and say, and others, and move on.
And others.
Thank you.
That, while I applaud their efforts to do that on cards, clearly we have heard from more than one source that they need to step it up in terms of representation within the company, hiring practices, who, you know, they let paint their cards, as well as the views that some of the people that paint their cards espouse. Um, yeah, got some ways to go. Some kind of poor business decisions this year as well. What do we think of secret drops of layer, or whatever they're, calling these things these days? Like,
I mean, secret layers are ultimately what pushed me away completely. Like, the other thing that happened in 2020 that I didn't mention is that we shot Monday Night Magic. We shut it down. We put it to bed. And it's because all of these terrible decisions that WotC has been making over the last year, the secret layers were just, to me, the most grossly offensive. Like, in a year when everyone is having problems and a lot of people are out of work and can't work and are having trouble paying the bills and the government isn't helping, and what does Wizards do? All right, we're going to roll out an ass load of these things that are only available for 24 hours and are expensive, and if you don't get it, screw you, you missed out. They've just been preying on, they're using FOMO as a primary means of income these days. And that just gets under my skin.
and I mean, some of the stuff, like, you might question, like the purely cosmetic stuff. You're like, well, okay. Like, everybody loves a picture of a cute cat, but do I have to have it? No. I mean, technically, you don't have to have any of this stuff. But wasn't there a problem? I don't think we ever addressed it on this show, because we're not really a news show. But when they released the Walking Dead one, didn't they actually release, like, specific, never before seen cards with new mechanics and abilities,
Yeah.
tied strictly to this?
Yeah, mechanically unique is the word you're
Right.
failing at finding.
I'm failing it so much. But, like,
and yeah, they did. And that was literally the last straw for me. I was like, well, I expected, 2-3 years down the line they would do that. But nope, first year. And that's when I went, I'm out.
like when you reskin an old card, like if they reprint, and I have not paid attention to the secret drops, so I don't know all of these or not, but like if they reprint uh Wrath of God, but it's a cat, swiping at a TV screen or something. Okay, but it's still Wrath of God. But when you actually print a new card and you make it only available this way, like when they did the Godzilla thing with Ikoria, um, that was just like the Godzilla cards, the Godzilla variants were literally basically reskins of cards that were in the set. So if you liked that card and you got the normal version of it, you could still play that card. So poor decision. I think I usually try to have some nuance with my words, whether it's me, whether it's the lawyer part of me, or whatever, you know. But flat out, straight up, think it was a mistake. I don't. I don't keep up with news. I can't imagine they got any good press over this, aside from the press that was like, "Oh, look, The Walking Dead," right? I can't imagine players really responded very well to that. And as Chewie pointed out, this year of all years, like really, really,
Yeah.
mm.
So, Secret Layers started last year at the very end. So just in time for the holiday season, of course. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that first year. I think I counted 34. So it's 34 minus 7. 27 this year, if I counted that right.
That can't be right. I mean, I guess it can, but to hear you say it that way,
17. Scroll.
Jeez.
18, 19, 20. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 26. Yeah. Some of those were super drops. Some of those were individuals, whatever. And, yeah. Yeah, at this point, yeah, Magnor just said, I've totally filtered them out.
Well, yeah, because like it's like anything. The first time you see it, you're like, well, that's different. But by the 24th time in a year, really? Yep. I will admit, I don't feel like I've paid. I've been watching for previews, and that's about it. I'm assuming tournaments are still going on. I don't have any clue. I couldn't have told you what the leading archetype is for standard or frontier is right now, because not to sound fatalistic, but I haven't been searching for it. I don't care. I don't know that I maybe hear a whole lot about it. I don't know that it's out there and I haven't found it, or if I've been filtering it out or what. But I just don't really care about the tournament scene right now, such as it is. Are there tournaments?
I mean, the MPL is still going on, or was. I think the champion got. I don't actually know or care. I think on the last episode of Monday Night Magic, we talked about the who the final champ or whatever, the MPL finals. But 1, I don't remember who it was, and 2, I didn't care at all anyway. Like early at the beginning of the lockdown, when the various places were still trying to have online tournaments that were easy to find, we still would talk about them on weeks we would record. But eventually, even CFB events was like, nah, whatever. And so I'm like, if they don't want to make it easy for me to find, then I don't care. And we stopped talking about them on Monday Night Magic, which is why Monday Night Magic started becoming an every 3-week podcast, because I'm not going to dig to find deck lists for what people played on Arena. Like, I just... No. And so I didn't. And then there at the end, I found out all of these are being run through this one website, and you could totally just go to that one website and get it. But I'm like, how did I not know that? It had been like 4 months or 5 months or something at that point. I'm like, I literally never knew that. Because no one made it, obvious. Like, hey, you want tournament results? Go over to...
Yeah. And once again, I don't want to make it sound like I've given up on the game, because the game itself, I still enjoy. And
I actually wonder if I can still say that.
But I don't have the access.
You guys know the last couple times that we got together to play Magic? The one time that we actually, you guys got together, I didn't go.
I remember.
I don't remember why.
Sam had recently had strep.
That was like 2 years ago.
And you didn't want it to jump on you. I remember that.
Was that the last time that you guys got together?
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
We had picked the first weekend in April to get together this year.
And it had been a long time since
it had been
I guess it had, yeah.
Yeah.
But like even then, when we were gonna get together in the first weekend in April, I had already decided I'm not gonna bring the laptop and the microphone,
right?
Because I don't. Yeah. It's too much of a pain in the ass to drag all this crap over there to get an episode, because then we all have to talk funny, and we don't just play the game, and it actually affects the enjoyment of everything. So I said, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. And I got to thinking, why do we even need to play Magic? We could just hang out. And then we didn't even do that. But I distinctly remember wondering if there was a way we could do this without actually bothering to play Magic, which is weird.
because if you still enjoy it, it's literally one of your only chances to play.
Exactly, yeah. But I like I said, I distinctly remember thinking that, and at the time I was like, wow, that's weird. But it seems like I still enjoy playing Magic with you guys. It's been years since I joined playing Magic with anyone but you guys. Years. Like, I went to GP whatever to do 3 questions. People are like, hey, you want to sit down and play Commander? I'm like, no. And then I would keep on trucking,
I have fond memories. This is one of the things that 2020 has taken from us. I've been to a couple GPs, and Mike's been there with me for we've done trips. We went to Orlando. We went to Washington, D.C., and like sometime like a couple of weeks ago, I don't know what triggered it, but I had just that thought of being in one of those halls. And you can't do that now because you're way too crowded and all that sort of stuff. So those sorts of things this year, those sorts of memories have elicited 2 basic responses from me. One is the like, oh God, it's like you watch a movie now and you see a scene where like everybody's in a mall or whatever, and you're like, first reaction is ugh, because that's not safe. It's a visceral, like, you can't do that kind of thing. And then you're like, oh wait, this movie was made before this year. The other basic reaction, if it's something positive, is, shall we say, wistfulness. And I got thinking about just like a side draft I did at one of these tournaments, and looking up at the prize wall and trying to figure out, hey, do I have enough points for this? And realizing that not only am I missing out on this experience, but it's not just about me, but the fact that no one else is getting to have this experience, especially those that would be going like for the first time. I do feel bad for those people. I feel bad that we can't do that.
Yeah. I just wonder, especially since, so I haven't bought anything Magic in a very long time because, as I said at the beginning of the show, I've been broke for years. and magic is the very epitome of luxury purchase. So I just don't buy magic anything anymore. I would scrounge up enough to go to pre-releases, but
Right.
even then, most of the last year at least of pre-releases, on the morning of, I would like put my head in my hands and go, do I even want to freaking go? And I wonder if it's not magic itself that I appreciated so much, but if it was you guys. And that's just what we did, so I loved it because I was hanging out with my friends. But now that it's been so long since I hung out with my friends or played Magic, one of those things I miss, the other one I can do without, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
So,
If the game was just a framework that let you, hang your, the actual pleasurable part of the experience.
and it's weird,
Well,
like, this is all things that have just occurred to me in the last few minutes. Like, this is not something I've been thinking about for a long time. This is, as I'm saying it, it's starting to crystallize. And I wonder if I say, I still love Magic the game, I don't honestly know if that's true. Because I refuse to play Arena. I tried it back when it was bad, and then I tried it again after it got better, and I didn't like it anymore than I did when it was bad. And I went, all right, I'm out. And
What is your reaction to every time someone would ask, when are you going to stream Magic?
well, since usually that's just Kim, and usually he's just kidding, it's just an eye roll. But he does it so often that I don't even think about it anymore. Like,
Oh, I thought it was a more violent response. So,
no.
okay.
But I think I still do appreciate the game, because I anytime that there's previews and Brian's like, all right, let's do previews, and especially these last two sets, I've gone, fine. But then once we get into it, I enjoy it. I dig it. It's fun. Oh my god, look at this card they printed. What are they, stupid? And then later it gets banned in standard, and I'm like, oh, they are stupid. Okay, good. Like,
So you can appreciate it on some level, but maybe what you appreciate about it now is different than what you appreciate about it before. Maybe just a thought.
that could be.
You can still appreciate decent game design. You can get excited over stuff, and especially when they design things and it looks tight mechanically, and it seems flavorful, and it seems fun. Then even if you don't ever intend to play it, you can still appreciate it.
Yeah, because like once we get into previews, like I'm not faking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like pretending to be excited about cards. If I am excited about a card, then I show it, and if I'm not, then usually I don't say much. But
Right.
So it's not like I'm like, okay, we got to do the Magic podcast. Let's get into Magic mode. All right, yeah, I still love this game. Yeah. I'm not like hyping myself up to fake it for you guys, because I think listeners would be able to tell.
Yes, and so would we.
And so would you, yeah. Mike especially would be like, Chewie, you don't have to.
Like, you're right. It's like something wrong. Yeah, I would. I'd be in our Discord chat here. Be like, dude, are you okay?
Exactly. So like that's not it. I don't know. I didn't mean to turn this into a, metaphysical, existential thing more than it already was, but here we are.
Those are some of the best kinds. I mean, I love that sort of stuff. I do think this is a year for self-reflection, but I don't know. They always say, don't make big life changes in a moment of crisis, right? Is that have you guys heard that before? Because the reasoning is, even though you feel like, oh, I have all this clarity now or whatever, you're still living in this bubble that is so far from how the rest of your life works. So 2020 as a year has taught us things about ourselves and about each other. Not to get super anything about this, but you may have learned things about your neighbors or fellow citizens of this country, or
or family
maybe
members, for God's
or
sake.
or family members,
Hmm.
or people you thought were friends, or maybe hopefully still are friends, but you have learned things about them. My point is that maybe then you take these things you've learned going forward, and as we return to whatever the new normal will be, I don't think it will be the way it was before, but I hope it's not exactly the way it is now. Then you start applying some of these lessons going forward. And well, that's from a very, like, wow, this should apply to all sorts of things about your life. From a magic perspective, Chewie, I think it's easy now to go, whether you like this, don't like this is what I enjoy, this is not what I enjoy, because you're also isolated from the game itself. These are good questions to ask. And then hopefully when we do have the opportunity to see each other again, with or without, hazmat suits, then maybe you'll be open to questioning, is this still what I enjoy? Because you can try to answer that question now, but because you can't actually really play it, it's purely hypothetical.
Yeah. And I'm fairly certain that once it's safe and you guys are like, all right, let's play Magic, I'll be like, woo! And I will grab decks and shuffle them the night before.
I'll have some new ones ready for you.
I will not, but that shouldn't surprise anybody at this point. So,
I feel kind of bad for all the neat cards that came out this year that just don't get to get played, or at least haven't had a chance to yet. So, let's say, okay, I hate to even do this because I don't want to jinx it, but let's say
maybe don't say it then.
all right, so let's say the next time we get together, at some point, let's not even put a quarter or year to it.
The year is 2865.
Yes, and we are all disembodied heads in glass jars.
Hell yeah.
That would make playing Magic very difficult.
Somebody is going to play a card that came out from Ixalan or going forward, and the other 2 or 3 people are going to be like, oh yeah, that card looked awesome. I forgot totally about it because I haven't had a chance to really see it or play it or use it or buy it.
And then I will look at the card and read it and look at the art and read it again and be like, I've never seen this card in my life. But like, yeah, we talked about it on like 2 different episodes. No, we didn't.
You said it had given you new life. And you composed a song to it.
I was dead inside. That doesn't count. So, by the way, hey Mike, you were gone for like half an hour, so we bypassed you on the. How was your 2020?
Yeah, it was. Gosh. So, yeah, so because my kind of work can be done remotely, I've been at the same job the whole time. There were times when it was normal. There was a long period of time when it was not normal, very unsustainable.
And by that you mean
then,
way more work than before.
yeah, more work than before. And even though I wasn't too chatty or anything at the office, I would still see people in person, in and out, day to day. And so it was a big shift. I wasn't expecting to be so strongly affected by, the isolation, the alienation, the depression, the fear, the doubt.
I will say that of all of us, you were the one I was worried about the most. Because like these 2 weirdos have families and whatnot, and I have the Manipool audience who I
Mhm.
treat more of as family than I do my actual family, because most of my actual family sucks. But
Right.
you don't live on the internet like I do,
No.
and at the time you were not married.
Yeah, it was just me here.
And yeah, I was worried about you a lot, especially since during the time periods when work was trying to kill you.
Yeah, it was rough. But and there was just a lot of frustrating things to read in the news and think about and stew over during my free time. And um, I did get married though. That was good. That was
That
like the most. That was the most like um, clear-headed, like comforted, calm feeling that day that I had had in a long time.
I bet.
good, good. It should.
Hmm.
If you were feeling crushing doubt, then we'd have a different conversation.
Yeah,
Aren't
yeah.
you?
That was one of the very few days I was not feeling crushing doubt.
Did you? I don't. I hope I haven't. I don't want to cross the line here. Did you ever
Have crushing
question?
doubt. Wait, no.
Did you ever question moving the ceremony itself from this year?
We did. We discussed that. Um, but at that point, it was like we know that it's not going to be everything we wanted. Do want to go ahead and finally just be married for whatever stripped down, simplified version of that we can do. And we did. It was a very simplified version. In a church that could seat 300 people, there were like 30, and people were spaced apart, and people were wearing masks, and there wasn't any reception afterwards. It was just like a small, immediate family dinner in a like a private place, and we didn't go on some trip afterwards. We just went to a little getaway. We stayed in a place in Winston-Salem for a few days, and it was simple, but it was good. It was something, and altogether, it was what we actually needed at the time. And other things, if we still want other things, we can do other things later.
You know what? I think that's the only, other than not hugging my parents, I think missing your wedding is the only thing I'm really pissed that 2020 like made me miss.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I understood it. I told people that you know I understand. Whatever decision you make, I will uh, I will accept and respect and defend it without question. So I understand what you had to do.
Yeah.
Been one hell of a year.
Everything
Hmm.
sucks all the
Mhm.
time. And look, we managed to talk about all of that without doing more than passing references at the political hell that this year has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us,
Yeah.
honestly. Did you hear that they might be sending out another stimulus check that's a whole $600?
You know,
Yeah, I
since
did.
since May, like every week, it's been like we're almost there. So believe it when I see it. So let me ask you. I am an optimist. There have been moments where I have really come into question that this year. I have. I recall at least one conversation I had with Chewie. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I think it was something to do with either politics or wizards and one of their bad
Or
decisions,
both.
or both, or both. And I said, I can't believe it. But at the end of the day, I am an optimist because that is how everyone deals with crises in a different way. So let me ask everybody, what is one thing that you wish for 2021? You can say world peace if you really want, but I would try to make it something a little more personal for you.
I wish video
Uh,
cards would drop back down to more reasonable freaking prices. On a bigger picture, I really, and okay, I have to go into politics just slightly because I really hope that Trump refuses to leave the White House so we get to watch him get dragged out. That will make the year start off with such a high bar, which at this point is ankle height compared to 2020, but
oh
still.
no, bars out. Bars out, didn't you hear?
No,
So.
not that bar. That
Oh,
bar
okay.
is lower than that.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But I think that would be just the best way to kick off the year is on January 20th, we get to watch his ass get dragged out. Oh, man. Just makes me happy.
I kind of agree with what's being said in the comments. I understand where you're coming from, but for me, being somewhat of a non-conflicty person, which I've been told, but you're a lawyer, and I'm like, well, it's, believe it or not, it's not my job to necessarily argue all the time. We argue when we have to, but the part of me that basically just wants him to go away is almost wishing for that scene from The Simpsons where they got rid of the extra itchy and scratchy character, and all of a sudden Trump just he's in a briefing and he stops. He stares at the camera. He says, I have to go. My planet needs me. And they lift the frame off the page, and then we cut to black, and there's just a sign that says, and he died on the way to his home planet. So you know the one I'm referring to, now that I've literally explained 98% of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that episode, but I've seen enough internets to be familiar with the joke.
Yeah, it's a pretty well known meme. So I would just love it if he just was like, and I'm gone. Chances of that happening with his personality, I actually think it's closer to what Chewie's looking.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Um,
Hello? Are we back?
What?
So I touched the computer, and so you guys got cut off. So Brian said, I think it's closer to what Chewie, and that's the last thing that anyone heard.
I said, I think given the personality of the person we're talking about, I think it's more likely to be the way that what you're looking forward to, because there has try not to get caught up in this stuff, but there's legally no reason for him to be saying the stuff that he's saying now. Everything is done. It's all done. And he's not. So I think there's a better chance of him just, hanging out.
And when you say saying now, you mean literally right now.
You may get your wish.
Like 11 minutes ago, he's still tweeting about this crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Someone take his Twitter account away.
I can't decide.
January 20th.
I can't decide if he believes all this stuff or not. I just can't. Or how much of it is like he's built up that expectation and his followers have that expectation that he literally can't make him stop.
Yeah, sometimes I think he has accidentally started to believe his own hype.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear? I saw Bill sent me an article earlier. Atlantic City is going to demolish the Trump Plaza, and they're auctioning off being the person to push the button.
I hadn't heard that.
And like the money they raise is going to go to, I think it said the local chapter of the Boys and Girls Club. But so they're auctioning off the right to push the button to blow up a giant ass building that says Trump on the side. and the money's going to charity. And that just makes me so happy that I love it. Like, I would sell a kidney to be able to do that. And since I don't drink, I don't need both kidneys. I'm just saying. Does that have anything to do with that? Or is that the liver? It's both, right? Yeah.
Sure, yeah. It's part of it.
I-
It's part of the process.
I think, kind of, unless there's more to that, I think getting back to kind of where I started, something I'd want to see for next year. Here's something a little bigger picture, but it relates to me because I have a child. I have a child. I would love to see both between a vaccine as well as personal responsibility being taken by enough people that we can safely and responsibly go back to in-person schooling, which some places are doing more of than others, just because I know it has been a struggle for some kids. And we can sit here and argue about, how to make it better. And I think that is a discussion that should be taking place. But I just know, like, for my kid who's very social, this has been hard on her psychologically. And so I would love for her to be able to go back in a safe way. So maybe everybody can pull up their big boy pants or big girl pants as necessary. You decide. And actually start treating each other well and not demonizing each other for trying to do the right thing. And hopefully, while I don't know that we will ever completely get past COVID, it may just become, part of the background things that we need to get a vaccine for every now and then. Maybe we can do it so that selflessly, I want kids to be able to go back to school, and selfishly, man, I missed the experience of going to a movie theater. And quite frankly, I don't know if that's one that will really come back, because I don't know if the industry is going to be able to recover from this. I've seen so many people be like, oh, well, I don't miss going to a movie theater. It's terrible. And here's all the reasons it sucks. I enjoyed it. I would love to be able to do that again, but not doing it now. So, hey, everybody, maybe let's all treat each other well and try and do the right thing so that, we can all act toward a common good, that common good being the health of our world and society. Kind of feels like a no-brainer, but maybe next year we'll make strides in that direction. Just a thought. Dirk, what's something that you want to see happen in 2021? It can be
Um,
big or small. Like, you can finally open that jar of mayonnaise that's been sticking. I don't know.
my big one would would also be that the my hope is that the vaccines are able to go around, that we do see, we see that it turning the corner, that we do see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train, that we're gonna see less people hurt by all this. Um, and on in terms of the personal note, well, I guess I'm very much looking forward to some level of normalcy where, like I had mentioned before about the Olympics, being able to have that go on. That's for me, if the Olympics are held, then we're returning to a level enough that that is a sign of we are better. We're not where we were. We've got people competing. You know, they have to be somewhat close to each other. So if the Olympics are held next year, which I really hope they are, that will not only be it won't be just a Japan is doing better. It will be a we the world are doing better because these are athletes from around the world who are gathering together. And so my hope is that there will be Olympics this coming year, and that will be the sign. That will be a sign of improvement. On a personal note, um, I echo very much what Brian is saying, where my kids, I want them to be back in school. That Sam had mentioned, or Brian had mentioned that that uh, Trevor's class has missed him, that he hasn't been there. That means the world to me, because that's I always want the kids to be have enough of an impression that people miss them when they're not there, and so it does. I'm looking forward to the kids being able to be back in person, and for them to be able to socialize, and for them to be kids. Because this year has just not been a year for kids to be that, and it's been a shame for that. And um, I hoped that my being a teacher, that we'll be able to return to enough where I can actually see all my kids. It broke my heart today, because even though we had final exams today, yesterday I told about half my kids that it's been a pleasure having you guys in class, and take care, because they were exempt from my exam. So yesterday was the last day I saw about half of them, and a whole bunch today that passed their exam. It's you know see you guys whenever I see you. And so I've had a bunch say, well, whenever we're back in school, Mr. Trimble, I'll come. I'll whenever I see you in the hallway, I'll say hi and everything. So I'm looking forward to the day where I don't have to do that, where I can actually say to their face, have a wonderful break. I'm looking forward to that point. So goes to Mike, I think.
Yeah. One big thing that I'd like to see, something that got touched on, all the rest of y'all were talking, was to get some kind of revival of people's sense of civic responsibility versus, personal hedonism, whatever you want to call it. Just civilization and living comfortably in a civilization. If you want that, it's critical that everyone does their part. Critical that everyone does their part and doesn't just go, cowboying off somewhere with whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it.
Now, if
so
sorry, go ahead.
So for more people to get that into their heads, that would make things a lot better. What were you about to say?
I wholly and completely agree with this, and I touched on some of that in my own thought. When you say hedonism, though, I do draw the line if I'm working at home, whether or not I have to wear pants. But
Oh
I
my
know
God.
that's not what you're talking about.
Amanda got told, I think she said yesterday, that her job was like, hey, we're doing some sort of like training thing for this new thing for these new people or something. So now her job involves she works essentially at a call center, so she can work from home, and she has been for many months now. But they're like,
Right.
it's gonna be on a Zoom call, so, and it's for like new bosses or something. I'm not entirely sure. And they told her to like dress up as if she was going to work and make sure that anything that can be seen on camera is clean. And I was like, I know they didn't say that, She's like, "Yup." I went, "Did they really just tell you to clean up your damn house?" She's like, "Well, not me. They said that to everybody." I went, "Still, for your job that requires you to not be seen by anybody, they want you to get up early for this like corporate crap and make yourself presentable to then sit there and do your job from home like you do every other day." She said, "Yeah, pretty much." I was like, "Please tell me you told them where they could go." She's like, "Oh no, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do my hair." Her hair is currently a big ass mohawk. And she said, "And I hope somebody says something." I was like, yes. It's like, I wish someone would say something about my hair. Oh God, I hope they do. I was like, okay. Anyway, for the record, anybody, I always wear pants when I'm streaming. Always. I always wear pants.
Yeah.
I'm not a never nude before anyone goes there, because inevitably when I say that, someone does. There are dozens of us. No. I do get naked to shower or scrump, but not to like stream. There's no pants streams for me. I know that's hard to believe, but I'm a pants wearing person. Dirk, on the other hand, whoo boy. See how we got quiet? Mm-hmm. He's not wearing pants right now.
Yeah, giggity.
Oh Lord. So, we should probably shut up now, huh? It's like late as hell. Like for y'all.
Alrighty then.
I don't sleep anymore, so it's that's a
Okay.
lie. I sleep a lot. I remember back in the day I didn't
It
sleep
is.
much. Do what? Hello? Guys?
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, there we are.
I lost you all for a few seconds.
Oh, so it wasn't just me. Good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I said I don't sleep anymore. And then I went, no, that's not true. I actually sleep quite a bit these days. And I was trying to talk about how I remember not sleeping much. Like, before getting in the bed and, like, not being able to sleep and tossing and turning and laying there awake for a while was, like, a bi-weekly thing. Like, if it didn't happen every 2 weeks, then something was wrong. Nowadays, when it does happen, it's like, just kill me. Because I actually sleep these days. And it turns out a lot of my stress, or a lot of the reason I wasn't sleeping much back in the day was due to stress, due to, being broke and rent and bills and stuff. So now that I don't have that stress most of the time, I sleep. And it's just amazing. I didn't realize what a weight that was around my neck until it wasn't there anymore. So, like, as much as 2020 has been bad, like I said, I do appreciate it for being the year that I'm no longer completely broke.
Yeah.
For the first time in way too many years. It is nice. I've actually bought things for myself this year. Like this Optimus Prime and the Shovel Knight. And I found a stuffed Baby Yoda at Target when I went to buy batteries and a candle, and I bought him because I could afford it, and it was like $12 or $13 or something. And I went, you know what? I'm taking this. Now he's back here on the wall behind, or on the entertainment center behind me. Actually, all three of those things. The Optimus Prime. Well, actually, Optimus Prime is over here on the table or on the seat. I don't know what to do with him. He's got a giant head, so he like it's like hanging out with Mike. There's just nowhere to put him where he doesn't look out of place because of the size of his dome. Mike's still on the call, isn't he?
Yep.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
I meant to say Thomas. Whew, covered. So something that I think Dirk of all people said last week or the last time we recorded or something, or no, the last time we did a just chatting stream. And I apologize for springing this on you guys out of the blue, but Dirk mentioned maybe we should do podcast episodes that aren't magic periodically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be a thing that happens more frequently in 2021. At least until things get back to normal or back to closer to normal and magic is a thing we can actually do. It's possible that going forward, the mana pool won't be only about magic and magic things that are tangentially magic. Possibly. Let us know, like, in some way, if that would be, like, a deal breaker. But I think if we were to, like, every fourth episode or something, just do not magic. You know, all right, this week we'll talk about, I don't know, movies or TV shows or games. Or just some other nerdy thing that isn't just magic. I think that would be good for us as, you know, podcasters. I know it would be good for me because see the entire earlier part of this episode. But if it's gonna like adversely affect the I only come here for the magic, well then no you don't, because we don't talk about magic in any way that's concrete anymore. So I don't think it's just the magic at this point. So let us know, like in the comments or on YouTube or in an email or in the Discord or on Twitter, just, you know, any of those places. Let us know if that would be horrible or not. Because I would like to get a feel for it. If, you know, you were listening along to like, oh, I've missed a couple episodes, let me listen to those. And then you listen to one and it was There's No Plane Like Home, and then you get to the next one and it's Hearthstone. Would that make you go, what? Ah! And like vomit? Or we're like, okay, we're going to talk about Marvel movies. Would you like unsubscribe immediately? Like, I'm just curious. Or would you be like, well, that's weird, these guys are talking about something else, and just listen to it anyway? Just let us know, because now I'm curious. But okay. Not every episode. Not like half the episodes, just every once in a while.
Right.
Let us know. But okay, because sometimes you're either going to get a not magic episode, or you're going to get no episode. I'm just saying. So, you know, there's that. So now I'm going to go pull up the Patreon thing. And hey, dorks, why don't you... Did we final thoughts? Was that last thing essentially final thoughts?
Well, all right then.
What? Oh, am I gone again? I'm gone again, aren't I?
You know...
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, good.
So, I don't know that I have a whole lot else to say for my final thought other than just generally, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone listening continues to stay safe, stay sane as much as possible, and that you take some time during this holiday season to, I know it sounds cheesy, but literally, just stick with me, literally, think about the things you have going on that you are thankful for that are going well, and try to focus on that. If you make one other person every day try and feel good about themselves, whether it's someone you know or holding the door for somebody, you know, you never know what someone else is going through in their life. Treat people well, and hopefully
compliment someone's mask.
Compliment. I was over at Mom and Dad's because she just had her birthday, and we saw her the day before because on her birthday, Mom and Dad Dad had a dinner planned out for them. So, and we realized I needed milk, so I had to run out quick to Food Lion to get milk. Went there, didn't run into too many people. And checking out in front of me was a girl, probably a little younger than Sam. And she was just buying one thing. And as soon as she was done, the cashier said, "All right, now, honey, why don't you just wait over here? Your mom's still picking out something, and you wait right here." And she said, "Okay." And I'm checking out with my milk, and the little girl is looking at me. And I said, "Hi." And she said, "Hi, I love your ring. It looks so pretty." And she's talking about my wedding ring.
Aw.
That's literally the only ring. And I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And I kind of gave her a quick, and she was wearing a pink mask with looked like teddy bears and unicorns. And I said, "I love your mask. It looks so cute." And you would have thought that I had told her that she had just, you know, uh, won a trip to the moon, and she just was just so. And I'm like, "Yay! I like, you know, I like it when kids just take compliments at face value." And it was a very nice moment. I went back and I told everybody my story, and they were like, "Oh!" So now you get to hear it too.
Yeah. I saw even younger, like a very little girl, walking along, and she's where it was at Chipotle. It was outside of Chipotle, and she stopped and looked up at me and like did the little kid wave, and you know what I mean when I say the little kid wave.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had to be like 3 or 4, and she
The
did the little
enthusiasm.
kid wave, and I waved back, and I looked and I said, "I like your mask," because it was some property that kids like that I recognized.
Baltic Avenue.
It's Baltic Avenue, yeah. And I was like, "I like your mask. That's awesome." And she did the little kid like put hands to her face and her eyes got all scrunched up because she was like, "Ah!" I felt good the rest of the night because I made this tiny little girl happy about wearing her mask.
Yeah, and for a lot of kids, it's a point of pride, because hopefully at least someone, be it a parent or grandparent or teacher or someone, is telling them, "Hey, you're doing the right thing." But it's something they're also proud of, especially when it's something that you can tell that they picked out. So
Also,
yeah.
her mom was wearing a mask. Her dad wasn't. So there's that.
So I know I swear this is the last thing I'm going to say. At least
Lies,
until
lies.
halfway through Mike's. But um, the other day I go to Lidl, which is a grocery store we have locally, and I'm pulling into the spot. As I alluded to earlier, literally as I'm pulling in, the tire pressure gauge in the car comes on, and I'm like, "Crap!" Because I know the last time I did, I always have trouble with this. So I'm already like I'm distracted by that. I get out of the car. I almost forgot my reusable bags, because there they encourage you to use reusable bags. And I'm walking through the door and I'm trying to think, where's the closest gas station that has an air pump? And I'm starting to go through the door, and they have a gentleman there. He says, "Excuse me, sir, you have to have a mask on." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh shoot!" I had one in my pocket. I've been using cloth ones this basically the whole time. I was not one of the first people, but I definitely got on board. I just felt like a big jackass for not remembering. And I put it on. I said, "I'm so sorry." He's like, "It's fine." I just felt out of sorts. And I'm wandering around the grocery store. I've got my list. And this dude with this like Duck Dynasty type beard is like coming at me from an aisle, and he's so polite. He's like, "Excuse me, I need to get around." I'm like, "That's fine." He's not wearing a mask. And I'm thinking to myself, how did you get past the guy out front without a mask?
What
Have him, either you didn't care and he didn't like physically stop you, because I mean these guys, what are they gonna do? I
Yeah.
guess they could try to call the cops, the manager, or whatever, or you took it off when you came inside, or a very very distinct third, you actually have a medical condition that prevents you from wearing one, like for real, and not one of the people that's like, "I don't feel like it, so I'm going to say I do." But I'm just like, really? Because it takes more effort than to take it off, but whatever. Anyway, I'm done, for real. For real. Everybody be good and be good to each other. The end.
Yes. Mike.
Yes. Oh right. Showing final thoughts.
If you have one.
No.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, Mike got married this year. Nothing else this year matters. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Dirk.
I guess my final thoughts and everything and hopes is that again we just be there for other people, I, and maintain social distance and all that, but there's a we've got to we got to stick together on this until we get to till we get to the end of this, and we'll get together, or we'll be there. We'll get there. We just got to hang in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't have much more to add to it. So, but here's to 2021 being a better year, being a better overall year.
Yeah. My worst fear is that we're going to look back at 2020 as the good old days. Like that is the only like potential future that bothers me is we'll go, God, we thought it was bad in 2020. I don't know how we could get there, within the realms of possibility on our current trajectory, but like I hope we don't. And I hope video cards prices come down. Like today, tomorrow, I'll take that. So as always, let me thank our lifeguards for one last time here in 2020. I'm so sorry that all the names to get got read off less times this year. That's the thing I meant to do. Could someone whose internet is not ass try to figure out what the first episode we did this year was numbered? I'm afraid if I pull up the manapool.com, then we'll all blink out of existence again.
Yeah, I can go check it out.
So, but I will thank our Mythic Lifeguards now in, I don't know what order this is. Nope. Oh, God, this mouse in this old-ass browser. Here we go. Rafe Gall, Al, Kim Maho. Wait. Scuzzo. Wow, this is awful. John Parker, Jake Jensen, Beardy Man, Team You Hellas, how are you? PJ McMullen, The Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine, Jason Kaus, Andrew Hunt, Aleph Cat, Cody Buckowing, Casey, Jeff Spencer, Gothic Man, Danny Liao, Jason Doan, Mr. Dr. Lewis, Connor Kennedy, Backwards Logic, and ALK Alters. Thank you all so much. And to all of our lifeguards at every tier. I've lost a lot of patrons this year. I think I've lost roughly almost a third of what I had at the end of last year. And that's fine. Like a bunch of people, most of them in like the exit survey, they're like, I'm so sorry, Chewie. And I'm like, don't be. For God's sake, take care of yourself and your family and you first. Do not worry about my dumb ass. Like it always sucks to lose a bit of income, but it doesn't suck nearly as much as knowing that my little bit of income that I get from each individual person could be causing that person problems. Like, I know. So, a shout out to all of the patrons who have left this year for financial reasons or whatever. Thank you all so much for your support up until that point. Your monetary support up until that point, and any support, viewing or hanging out or whatever you've given since, because I understand. I know what it's like to be broke better than lots of people that claim to know. So, yeah, don't ever feel bad about stopping a a monthly payment to some jackass on the internet. Because no, just don't feel bad at all. So any of you who are like, oh, keep it going for now, no, don't do that. Go ahead, kill it right now. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. All right. Anyway, so Mike, did you find it?
Dirk found it before I did.
Oh, okay. What'd you find?
578 was posted on January 5th. Yes, January 5th.
Oh my God. And this is 608?
Yeah.
660, no, 60, what is this? 607. Did we really only do 29 episodes this year?
I thought you said 607 was trapped on the other computer.
No, 606 is trapped on the other computer. I screwed up earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've only done about half the normal number of episodes.
Wow.
Which I'm almost surprised it's that much, just because of how many episodes we had either canceled or we sat on but didn't actually, record anything. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So apologies everyone for the lack of steady content this year, but hopefully you understand. We are in fact people too, and sometimes, especially this year, we just freaking couldn't. Most of the time it was me, I'm not gonna lie. I will take full responsibility for every episode we missed, because most of the time I just couldn't. I just didn't have it in me. I've missed so many streams this year for the same reason, but that's because I am a person too. I am not just a machine that you can, click on and I will dance for your amusement monkey.
Yeah, you gotta have a quarter too.
So, yeah, and so I appreciate everyone putting up with the broken stream of content this year. But it's 2020. Hopefully everyone understands, because...
Hashtag 2020.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
But with that, we're going to stop, because it's late, and we've actually been going for way longer than I thought. So, as Brian said, everyone, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Try to... saying this to our audience is kind of pointless, but just remember, be good to other people. Wear a mask. Black Lives Matter. Trans rights. All that good stuff. The things that I meant to keep adding into the intro and then gradually forgot, because if I haven't been doing it for years, it sort of slips out. It doesn't slip out like the stuff I've been doing for years. I realized a couple days ago that my Twitter icon is still the Black Lives Matter version of the logo. And I was like, hey, look at that. Awesome. Because I thought I changed it back a couple months ago, but nope, I didn't. So, cool. And I think I was gonna, and then I realized that would be lame, so I didn't. But then I thought I did. Anyway, shut up, Chewie. But anyway, this has been the last episode of the Mana Pool for 2020. We will see you all next year, and we're not going to do one next week because Christmas, and the week after that is New Year's Eve, I think, or New Year's Day, or whatever the hell. I don't know. So we're just going to not bother, and we'll be back next year. So yeah, thank you all so very much for joining us, and yeah, let's do better next year.